All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. We're gonna check its local and city searches and see if they got BSS for any of them. And y'all already know we're back here in the GBC universe, where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pin video, home video, somewhere around here. And that is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white. Over on the left, the highest intent people, these are people searching on Google, searching on social, social search, Google search for boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And highest conversion rate, closest to the money. So we talk about here, BSS is the videos we make about. And over on the right, the lowest intent people, they ain't searching for boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. They are actually, they are actually not even able to search that because most of them don't even know what boudoir is. So lowest intent peeps, got to reach them through interruption ads on Facebook or Instagram. And our sister brand we talk about that is Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, and we talk about BLCS over there. So BSS is Boudoir Search Sameness. So when boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So 0 slots, I mean, we're dying here. And that means 0 slots page 1 means we're page 2 or deeper. And we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. So they're page 1 and done searches. And that means we're not being seen. We're invisible to approximately 80% of the market, which is actually the bulk of the market. 1 slot on page 1 Google, that's not good either because there's 10 organic slots, page 1 on Google. There's 9 other slots. Let's say there's 9 other boudoir photographers. So we got 1 slot, same as everyone else. We look the same as everyone else. We're not standing out at all. A boudoir buyer is actually just going to click down all 10 links and contact every boudoir photographer, drive the, compare prices, drive the prices down as much as possible, negotiate, margins collapse. So we cannot have only 1 slot on Google page 1 either. Next, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's common, it's accepted, but it's not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes, first one is market saturation. Basically, everyone knows about this one. Like just over time, people get new iPhones, people get new cameras, new gear, and they're throwing up their Google My Business profile saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. They throw up, their website saying they're now a boudoir photographer. They post in the mom groups on Facebook saying they now shoot boudoir. So more sellers for the same number of buyers make it harder and harder for every single seller. Now, the one that most people do not know about is the false belief of page 1 equality. This kind of, automatically accepting or not really questioning that, yeah, every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots page 1 on Google, and yeah, maybe my website was ranked 8th page 1 on Google. Then we had some market saturation coming in, and now, now I'm on page, I'm the second option, slot 2 on page 2. And it's like, well, that's market saturation. That's what happens. But I hope, that, basically I hope they delete their website and Google de-indexes them so Google can bring me back on page 1. And so this is this is like kind of accepting this is actually a false belief, because what I figured out is Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days using this new methodology we developed. So the false belief of page 1 quality is exactly that. It's a false belief. Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. Next, a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we got our micro universe brewing here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. But thankfully, we now have a solution. We've discovered that BSS is actually treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And we know this because we invented it. And what's special about this is, well, first thing, how it works is exactly how the name says, social search saturation. We saturate social search with the highest boudoir buyer and the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in our city, making sure we show up there. That's kind of like the snow on the top of the Andes Mountains in South America, on the backside of those mountains, the eastern side. Because what happens down there is that snow melts into small streams, small rivers, and eventually it all floods into the Amazon River. That's Google page one. The snow at the top of the backside of those mountains, that's social search saturation. So we got to start with the snow, social search saturation, to dominate page one Google search. And again, this is the exact methodology I use to go from 0 to 10 slots page one on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page one on Google in only 10 days. Now, what's special about this strategy is this is the only strategy I've seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully fight against market saturation and allow boudoir photography business to continue to grow, even without, basically in a relatively quick time frame. The second option that is out there is having a large, massive brand, but that doesn't satisfy the relatively quick requirement because that takes like 5 to 10 years. And interestingly enough, I believe this strategy, SQ methodology, can actually speed up creating a brand by approximately 8x kind of normal methods because we're on so many different surfaces being seen so much. That's, we're really hammering the mere exposure effect here, in our city's minds, kind of as a secondary benefit to getting these page one slots on Google. And, let's do an example here, SQ methodology. So let's say we're in Tampa, Florida. There's 1 million boudoir photographers in the market. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir. Everyone's fighting for page one Google search. Where they do these competitions and saying our only chance, well, since we don't have a brand, large known brand, our only chance to effectively compete here is, basically it is to utilize S-cube methodology. So what we do is we crank it up to the max. So we crank up S-cube methodology to the max, and let's say we get the first 300 slots for social search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in our city, and those flow down onto Google. Let's say we get the first 300 slots on Google as well, and each page is 10 organic slots. We're taking up basically the first 30 pages on Google. So basically anywhere a boudoir buyer looks in our city, we're taking up, let's say, the first 300 slots, any surface they search, social search, Google search, whatever search. And so if we're essentially the only one boudoir photographer they can find, whose business is going to be growing in this marketplace? Obviously our business is going to be the only one growing. And so the other 999,999 other boudoir photographers, competitors, they're all disappearing. They're on like page 31 of Google. Like, or if we know approximately 80% of peeps ain't even hitting page 2, we already know there ain't nobody going to page 31. So this is a kind of an example, like ultra extreme version of how this can enable a boudoir photography business to grow in the presence or in a market getting more and more saturated over time, and even in the face of larger brands. Now, once true with the SQ methodology, we have page one visibility. So initial benefit is, obviously we're getting more slots page one Google search, but the second benefit, actually a lot of boudoir photographers say they like this second initial benefit the best. So every time we take that new slot, we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. So we're putting them on page 2 or deeper, and we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. They're page 1 and done. So we're effectively disappearing our competitors where we can control if they disappear or not. And a disappearing boudoir photographer is kind of the flashing light, the warning signal that their boudoir photography business is on the path to disappearing as well. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. This is where the GBC universe recommends hitting a recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google. And hitting that recommended minimum is because basically every other boudoir photographer is going to have one slot page one on Google. So if we got three, I mean, we're dominating them right there. If they, ultra rare case, they got two, our three still dominates them. So we want to hit 3 out of 10 page one slots Google search. Now, boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, VBP. This is our full micro universe here. We got a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Okay, all well and good. We understand that now, but now we have a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Now for my results using this S-cubed methodology was I wanted to rank and dominate page one for this keyword, BLCS boudoir. Now the organic slots here, that's what S-cubed methodology is for. So let's go down through them, see how many I got. So first one, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So again, I'm from 0 out of 10 slots page one on Google, page one Google search, to 9 out of 10 slots page one Google search in only 10 days. So these are my results that I got utilizing this strategy. All right, now main event here, we're going to check this boudoir photography business. We're going to check out its local search and its city search. See if they got BSS for either local or their city search, and also see if they're hitting the GBC recommended minimums, 3 out of 10 slots for each. So we're going to Hampton, Virginia, and Newport News, Virginia. All right, let's head over there now. Hampton, Virginia, just no data. All right, so let's see what we got. Go to organic. So boom, we got one. Let's see what else. Let's see. All right, so we got one. So we got 1 out of 10 for local. Yeah. All right, so 1 out of 10 for local. And now let's check city. Let's see. And 1 out of 10 for city. All right, so for both. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 for both. And so that means we got BSS for both of them. And we're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page one Google search for either of them. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, you went and did the local search for yourself and the city, or local search for the highest intent buyer keywords and the city search for the highest intent buyer keywords, and you had BSS for one or both, or you did not meet the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page one for either one or both of those searches. And you now realize page one equality was kind of automatically accepted before, but now you realize it's a false belief. Now you realize, wow, we truly can take as many page one slots on Google as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you understand market saturation with how, basically people get new iPhones, throw up their Google My Business profile and their website, and they shoot boudoir. So get new gear, increase the number of boudoir photographers over time. It's always increasing, and you're actually thinking ahead. You're seeing AI. You accept it's okay. It's probably going to start steal more people's jobs. So what we're actually going to need to do is it's going to force a bunch of boudoir photographers to come into the marketplace that were not boudoir photographers before, but they have, everyone's got a camera on their phone. And so you want to fortify your position ahead of AI taking everyone's jobs. And I don't know, could that double the amount of boudoir photographers in the market? No idea. But you want to fortify your position before then. You kind of want to get more slots on page one before that happens to kick out current competitors, and get even more slots on page one to fortify your position against the coming influx of new boudoir photographers that will inevitably be coming into the marketplace. So more sellers for the same number of buyers as AI takes more and more people's jobs. And so you want to fortify you want to kick out the current competitors, fortify your position against future competitors. And you also want the, your CNS cubed methodology is the only solution that you can see that allows you to do that as a boudoir photographer. And you actually want kind of the extra back-end benefits from this as well, which is every day we execute S-cubed methodology successfully. We're actually building like these thematic keyword columns that are plugged, kind of like spokes, that are plugged into our main brand across our social channels, across the internet, our website, our brand name, our social handle name. And as we do more and more of that every day, it actually increases the probability we get recommended an AI overview, this premium spot placement up at the top above everything. And many times, it's literally only recommending one studio at a time, based off of thematic keyword relevance, authority, things like that, and frequency. And also every day we execute methodology correctly. So it's building up that momentum in the background for AI overview and also standard AI search and all the different AI search platforms. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini. Every day we successfully execute SQ methodology, build up those thematic keyword columns attached to our brand, kind of like spokes on a wheel. We're increasing the probability AI recommends us in search into the future. Kind of increasing that probability every single day we successfully execute. And you also see that kind of the earlier you jump on this, the more distance you put, kind of the more momentum is built, kind of more fortification, kind of fortifying the levees like New Orleans against the ocean because it's below sea level, and building momentum for back-end AI search, AI overview recommendations forever into the future. Well, for every day that SQ methodology is successfully executed against all current and future competitors who are not running SQ methodology. Because my current plan is to only run it with one boudoir photographer per city. And so if I were to work with a competitor and that happened, instead you would have to rederive and refigure out and retest SQ methodology to figure it out for yourself. And you would never really know if you actually derived it correctly. But even so, you'd have to then go execute it on your own, which you'd have less confidence in, because again, you would not have known if you've actually derived it correctly. And you'd have to equal our output of me working with your competitor to maintain our gap where we're already ahead. You'd have to actually double or triple our output to actually close the gap and overtake us, kind of suck away that thematic keyword kind of momentum, back into momentum for AI search engines to steal it away from us. So you realize, screw that. It's better to simply be, the first mover on this, kind of kick out current competitors from page one, actually increase, 4 to 5 year position against future competitors as AI takes people's jobs, force them to become boudoir photographers. And so you're saying SQ methodology is the best path for you because you want, page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, achieve boudoir search visibility, because you need that on your way to become #1 boudoir photographer in your city. So if that's you, shoot me a DM when I open up for new patient intake. My DMs are closed right now. Slots are currently closed. And when you do open up, or when I do open it up, shoot me a DM and we will see if you qualify for using SQ methodology.